Good day, Tamers. Extra day this year, so I thought you guys can have a video from me, your favourite English board guy. Yeah, swiftly. We're going to go over some green decks for the green event that's coming up as of next week. Even though some places are now delayed, but they're still going to hold them still. So green decks. As well as Spring Break, I believe at the end of March, is also a green deck only format. This is specifically for March, when we get to like BT16, one of these decks just doesn't do this anymore. We've got two decks today. Something simple, something super easy, something super cheap in comparison to a lot of other decks. If you want to play Bloom, it's still very good. You can put Quartz in, Quatasm, I'll put it underneath me here, so you guys can see what I'm about that card from LM set 01. That's the only thing really changing in Bloom currently. I didn't want to put an insect deck up here yet because it's not kind of where it needs to be, but we do get into a good position in BT16 when Tyrant comes out and starts ripping some people apart because, bro, he says some words on that card. That card is very good. Pair it with Shivermon and it's just like, yeah, opponents, do nothing at all. Is it my turn? It's my turn now because you have to pass. Alright, I'll do something. Yeah, that's a deck, yo. Either way, let's jump into this because I'm sure you guys are fed up already hearing my voice for nearly 2 minutes and I haven't even started yet. So, there are things that will suspend your cards in this deck. So that's the reason why. Draw power is very good. Obviously, Digimon draws anyway when you're evolving. There's going to be a lot of evolving here. But as it's a green only deck, there's no cool boys, there's no X antibodies, so you are having to draw and hope for the best just through evolving and effects like the Coco. We have the Searcher Palmon here. We have the new Palmon. The Searcher Palmon here is just because you're going to find all of your cards in terms of Digimon. Can't look for Tamers, that's the issue. Palmon here though works really well with the X antibody because you're going to gain yourself 2 memory when you Digivolve into the X antibody essentially. For those of you who don't know what the BT14 does is one of your opponent's Digimon gains all turns. When this Digimon becomes suspended, lose 2 memory. And then Digivolve for 0 with Palmon X antibody goes suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. Gain 2 memory now. Pretty good, pretty simple. Gonna run 2 of the Sunflower here, suspending this Digimon. One of your Digimon may Digivolve into a Digimon card with Fairy in one of its traits in your hand for the Digivolution cost. When it would Digivolve by this effect, reduce the Digivolution cost by 2. We're running Lily. We're only running Lily. We'll go over these in a second, but yeah, they're all fairies, so reduce it by 2. Running 4 of the Togemon here. Green Tamer card from your hand by suspending one of your green Digimon. Reduce the cost by 3. We'll go over the Tamers in a second. And then when this Digimon would Digivolve, if you have a green Tamer, reduce the Digivolution cost by 1. It's very good at basically keeping your green cost low, which is really good. For the Toga X, it is essentially just because I want to have as much DP in the stack as possible because the Rose is quite squishy, and so if we can even just get it to like 15k, it makes it a bit easier for her to survive essentially. I do wish it was all turns just to make it so it makes it easier for you to sort of withhold another turn after your opponents kick you around, but you do suspend things for a while, so it's not so bad. When Digivolving one of your opponent's Digimon can't unsuspend until the end of their turn. If Togemon or X antibodies in this Digimon's Digivolution cards, suspend with your opponent's Digimon. I would presume that you get to choose the order when Digivolving still, so if you have Togi, they've got one thing there, you can suspend it and then you can make it so the opponent's Digimon can't now suspend. But I could be wrong, but I do think that obviously with the Digivolving and the attacking effects, it do trigger when you want to, the way you want to trigger it. 2 aces, I think it's just like a nice little thing here. We are in a meta where you might be seeing people just like go inside it, raise out of security, raise out of breeding area, swing with whatever into security, and then you might be at Togi or Togi X or Sunflower, you're like, yeah, whatever. Lily Ace, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, and then you may return one of your opponent's Digimon. Suspended with 500 DP or less at the bottom of the deck. Which means if they just swing with a level 3, just go to the bottom of the deck so they get to do anything with it. But yeah, you're only running 2 of these because you don't really want to just give your opponent free memory for you trying to play the game. Lily, though, X antibody from BT15. When Digivolving, if there is a suspended Digimon, gain a memory. If Lilymon or the X antibody is in the Digimon's Digivolution cards, draw a card for each of your opponent's suspended Digimon. Which in a deck where you're just suspending things constantly, yeah, draw power. Like I said, This deck might be a case of you just need to draw as much as you can because you don't really have access to a lot of other things. There is draw things in this deck, but you'll see when we get there. EX1 Linimon. This is just here because you need a way of fighting. Security attack +1. When one of your opponent's Digimon becomes suspended, this Digimon gains security attack +1. If you get to a situation where you have Linimon on the field and it's your next turn, you've been able to push out this Powermon and you can go into X antibody again, you can spend something. As long as something's been suspended on your opponent's side and you can go to the Rosemon swing, you get the +1. Now, I had issues trying to figure out which Rosemon because they both read very similarly. And I do think it might be a case of like which one do you prefer. They're both, to me, they're both basically the same card. So it does depend if you want to have the BT13 one or if you want to do the BT14 one. But BT13 says, when Digivolve by suspending one of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers, unsuspend this Digimon. Which is really good if you suspended yourself from an effect earlier in the line. All turns once per turn, when an opponent's Digimon or Tamer becomes suspended, suspend one of your opponent's Digimons or Tamers. It's really good because this benefits Rosemon Burst more. And then the BT14 Rosemon, when Digivolving when attacking, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers, and then your turn once per turn, when an effect suspends a Digimon or Tamer, you may unsuspend this Digimon. The reason I like this, like, to me they read the same, especially on the first, like when you go into it, because again, like I said, if you suspend yourself at some point, then you go into this, you suspend something else of theirs, you unsuspend, or you just unsuspend. Because you just, like I said, it's however you want it. So, you can have 3 of these, 1 of these, 2 of these, 1 of these, 2 of those. Your choice, your deck. You play it the way you like. I don't know which one I prefer. That's the problem. That's why my brain's like, oh god, why? Rose X we're going to run 3 of, so we're going to go 3, 3, 2. Yes, I understand. It's not the normal. Normally it'd be like 4, 2 or 4, 1, 2. Depends how you feel. But yeah, we're going 6 here because this isn't name. This is specifically having to be a Rosemon, so this is technically its own way of doing things, especially if it's more of a case where you need to spend more things more often. This to me feels more of like a finisher piece in terms of like slowing down the game. When Digimon suspend one of your opponent's Digimon and one of their Tamers, they can't suspend until the end of the opponent's turn. Opponent's turn was per turn. When an opponent's Digimon is played, you may suspend one of their Digimon. Opponent's turn was per turn when an opponent's Digimon moves from the breeding area to the battle area. If Rosemon or X antibody is in this Digimon's Digimon cards, you may suspend one of their Digimon. The idea is obviously you're going to build a stack so you have all the X antibody stuff inside. If we had a Rosemon that had an inherited effect, which would have made much more sense if the BT 14 had inherited, because they obviously knew that Rosemon was coming like this, or people would have thought like, oh yeah, it's a burst mode. That would have been much better. So hopefully one day we do get a Rosemon with an inherited effect, even if it's just like, you know, when you swing, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon on it, or if your opponent has a suspended Digimon, gain piercing. I don't know. You can do what you like with it. It's down to you guys. That's a bad knife. How scary they want to make this deck, because they can make Rosemon a very scary deck if they want to. But quite this, essentially, it is just making it so your opponent is having situations of like, yeah, you want to swing at me, alright, suspend that thing, alright, you want to do that, alright, suspend that thing, and it does slow down your opponent. So essentially, the first or anything they can do their turn is get rid of this Digimon. Burst mode. I prefer burst mode over Quartz in a Rosemon deck. Quartz is just as good, but they are situational. I've seen people go in like 1 of each, but I think 2 burst modes is the best. And then burst mode 0 from Rosemon by returning 1 Yoshi to the hand at the beginning of the burst mode turn. Trash this Digimon's top card. If you just Digivolve into it for 5, you don't trash it. It's only if you do it by its burst Digivolution effect. But Digivolving, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon and one of their Tamers. Until the end of your opponent's turn, all of their Digimon Tamers don't unsuspend. And then when attacking, trash the top card of your opponent's security stack for every 2 of your opponent's suspended Digimon and or Tamers. It's easier to do this than it is to do Quartz, because I think Quartz is every 5 over the board is remove a security, whereas this one, there's always a good chance that even just building up your stack, you've somehow got your opponent's like 4 or 6 things suspended on their side of the field. So yeah, swinging for essentially 4 is very good. No rush in this deck though, unfortunately, so there's no way to like sneak out a quick cheeky 1-2 punch. 1 hit potential. This is specifically here just to go like Rose X into burst or Rose into burst just in case we don't have access to a Yoshi, or just because we want to keep the burst mode on for a bit longer, especially because it's 15k, and there are cases where just having a slightly bigger body will benefit us. 2 of the green memory boosts, just because top 4, find a green Digimon. 4 of the agilities, because 9 times out of 10, if you find this, you're probably going to keep it unless you really are desperately searching for another card. 3 of the Mimis from BT1. Best green memory setter, best green card. If you got level 5 on the field, you can then hatch an egg, or you can move an egg out early. This could be the way of winning the game. You use Rosemon to push down all the security, and then you move whatever's in the breeding area out and swing for game, and then your opponent just looks at you like you're an arsehole, because you are. And then Yoshi here. Yoshi is literally just here for me to go, hey, yeah, awesome, burst mode. I was pondering if to go like 4 of these, and then like 2 of the new Mimis, because when you suspend... Is it when you suspend? It doesn't matter. I just thought it was better because obviously it was just memory gain on suspensions. But I do think that having, like, because obviously she's still a memory setter, so she's very good for just keeping you at free to start the turn, and then just start of your turn, go from Rose into Burst, and then Burst just slaps your opponent down, and then again. It's just, it's pretty good. Some people have questions, like, if you to do some flow, maybe not do some flow and then put 2 hybrids in, but I think because you want to be, like, bursting these off your hand, into your hand, I think it makes more sense to be doing this for Rosemon. She's pretty good though. When one of your Digimon evolves into a Digimon vegetation plant or fairy, one of its traits must spend this tamer to gain a memory. Obviously, if you have a couple of these on the field, you could burst one away and then use the other 2 to gain 2 memory for just bursting, so you can go to 5 in your turn. There's some very uniquely fun things. Also, if you have, let's say for instance, a Rose just on the field, and then you move out of PAL, and then you Digivolve up into PAL X antibody, say you got 2 or 3 of these on the field, gain memory, then you've got enough memory to just go into Rosemon burst mode, so you don't have to worry about it popping. There's different ways of doing it, but it's a fairly good deck. I like this idea. You're the pain in the ass to me, personally speaking, but I think you can push people down, especially with Lily giving you a security attack +1. If you can remove security down to 0 with this, remove security and then security attack +1 down, and take it to 0 security, and then you can obviously do the Mimi plays to then go out with a Palmon or whatever to swing and take the game. I think that is also a good plan. The second deck we're going to look at is Terriermon Deck. Now this is the one I'm kind of having a bit more issues with, because when you get to BT16, it's essentially the Rapidmon deck, and then you might just have like 2 aces just in case you need to go like surprise your opponent, and then they just get very upset with you because you surprised them with aces. But for now, especially while waiting for Terriermon X, Goemon, if you have a green Tamer, draw a card. Makes sense. You do want to get your Tamers out in this deck. We are running the 2 Henrys and the 4 Henry Wong and Susie. I'm not sure if that's the right ratios, to be fair. It could be 4 and 2, 3 and 3. Play it out how you feel. The only reason why I like this is because getting to have a body on the field, especially this guy here, who's going to give something alliance every turn. It's going to be very interesting when you give something alliance every turn and then just start crushing them because you're swinging for 2 and they can't stop you. Tamon though, on play, reveal top 4 cards of your deck. Add 1 2-color green card and 1 Tamer card with Henry Wong in its name amongst them to the hand. Place the rest at the bottom of the deck in any order. So yeah, you can't search one of your Terriermons. That is the issue. But you can search for this, 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 and this. Can't search squirts though. It doesn't matter. He's very good. And then your turn, when Alliance suspends one of your Digimon, this Digimon may Digivolve into a 2-color green Digimon card in your hand for the cost. When this Digimon Digivolve by this effect, reduce the cost by 2. Because you're giving yourself Alliance with Lopmon, because you're not running Antil or anything in this deck, so it doesn't matter in that sense. But for instance, let's say you're swinging with Rapidmon, so you go Terriermon, Rapidmon, Lopmon got to come down for free. You go whatever, I'm going to Alliance, this lets you go to Rapid this. Or you can go up into Ace for the cost of 3. Because it says Digivolve with Rapid in its name. Oopsie daisy. Rapid level 4, or Rapid level 5. Synergy. Wait till we get Rapid X. Because it just says in its name, right? Yep. Rapid X counts as a Rapid mod. and that's a level 6. Um, but yeah, so you'll be doing some very kind of odd um, red hybrid stuff soon. There is essentially enough level 4s to cover all the level 3s, and this is just because you only want to run the new Rapid one because it's just very good. I'll play with Digivolving Digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon. Then, if you have a green Tamer, this Digimon can't be deleted by your opponent's effects, and can't be returned to the hand or deck until the end of your opponent's turn. Gee willikers, guys, you ain't doing nothing to me. And then, when this Digimon deletes an opponent's Digimon in battle, trash the top card of your opponent's security. Great. I believe with Piercing, it's also auto, so when you block as well. I believe with Piercing, you get to choose. So your Piercing checks to see if it's dead. It's now dead. It now does this, and then you pierce. Is how I believe Piercing resolves. I could be wrong, but I think it's remove security, then swing. Obviously, if you've got no security, the Piercing effect doesn't do anything. But you know, that's neither here nor there. I'm begrudgingly running this guy because he can technically be a 2 cost. So if you do go up into Rapid and you get Alliance and you swing, you can go up into this at the cost of 2. At the end of your turn was returned until the end of your opponent's turn. 2 of your green or black Digimon gain blocker and reboot, which is just a very good skill anyway. Also, as was returned when another Digimon becomes suspended, you may unsuspend this Digimon, which is good because the idea is that you get to block it, and then when they swing the next time, you get to unsuspend and block again because you get to be reactive, and then blocking is passive, so it goes attacking effects, your turn to respond, blocking. So in the frame of you responding, you get to go, hey look, I unsuspended, I block. Mega Gargamon, to be fair, it might just be literally the same time, suspend to swing, unsuspend because you suspended. Then Gargamon Ace here, just hand blast counter, as we said earlier before, having the ability just to blast Ace into something is very good, especially when your opponents are like, oh crap, wasn't expecting that. Yeah, block and reboot, just very good keywords. When Digivolve, suspend 2 of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers, then 2 of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers can't suspend or Digivolve until the end of your opponent's turn. Good stuff. When Digivolving end of attack was turn, you may unsuspend this Digimon. Yeah, so if you did get to just Digivolve into this for the cost of it's cost of 5. So yeah, if you go from this Rapid to this, it's cost of 3, but then because it's the end of your attack, if you didn't die, you get to unsuspend and swing again, which is really good. So you get to swing 3. Well, it depends how many ones are down, but if you get to spend, you spend swing to swing again with Alliance, you know, you're hitting 3 to 4 times in that one section of swings, which is pretty good. And then also end of that's when you Digivolving, and then end of attack once per turn. So yeah, unfortunately you don't get to do both. I believe you only get to do one of each. Sorry, one altogether. So when Digivolving, because it's once per turn triggered, it does that. I could be wrong. They might change that so it does it when Digivolving and then once attack. So you could technically swing 6 times with the security attack +1. I do think there is a rapid one out there that does give you security attack +1 if you want to use that one instead. But this one is just very good. Again, this is just here just because it's nice to cover. This one, in my opinion, is also very fitting for the role that we want it to be in here. Essentially, it's just a way for you to jump from Rapid into Mega Gargamon, just to be a bit more aggressive on the field. 13k body is pretty good. And obviously, having blocker, if your opponent wants to swing into you, just remove something from the security attack on their turn. It's fun times for me. Quartzmon, though, because you are doing a lot of suspending on your opponent's side, it's very nice for you to just go up into a Quartzmon and go like, alright, swing, baby, swing. Obviously, you just have to worry about being just easy targets because if there's any nuke spells, they're going to get rid of you. Or if there's any bounce spells, they're just going to get rid of it. When Digivolving, suspend all of your opponent's Digimon and Tamers. Then, for every 2 suspended Digimon and no Tamers, gain a memory. So the idea is, obviously, if your opponent's built a board and you're building a board, there's a good chance you probably will go back to having memory in your turn. Alters other than this Digimon, all Digimon and Tamers don't suspend, and then when attacking, suspend 1 of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers, then trash the top card of your opponent's security check for every 5 suspended Digimon and or Tamers. The only reason I've picked this is because there isn't like a Green Lantern mode for Mega Gargamon. You know, Crimson mode is specifically just for Gallantmon. There isn't a level 7 for the Gargamon line as far as I'm aware. Quartz is green, and that's the only reason I picked this, because he's just green, and he's going to do very well into this line. The only issue we do have, though, is he's kind of costly. He's got a big butt, so he's not so bad. but he can get bounced back to hand, which some green decks can do, but maybe not something you'll be seeing in the green decks currently. Hidden potential discovered. This is here specifically to get into courts a little bit earlier. So yeah, if you do have an extra rookie on the field that you can deal with, suspend it, go into courts the cost of 1, and then for every 5, was it 5? For every 2 suspended game memory, obviously if you're not suspended, you can swing out for that time and try and get yourself a quicker win. 4, agility training, because looked up to take any green card is really good because all your cards are green, or at least green in them. Double Typhoon, I think it's pretty good. Reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 green Digimon card, and 1 green Tamers card. Looks into the hand, return the rest of the bottom of the deck in any order. Essentially, it's a agility, except you can grab 2 and then put 1 back rather than having to grab only 1 and put the other 1 back. The delay on this is pretty good as well. You may play 1 Terrier allotment from your hand without paying the cost. If you do have this down though, you already have 1 down, it's pretty good because that means you get your 3 out. So if you can go Terrier and they go, oh, you only got 1 out, you can put a Lotmon on the field, so you put a Lotmon on the field, and then you put the other Lotmon on the field, you can make things a lot more interesting for yourself because you're now having to play the game of constantly giving yourself alliance. Which, if you've played Luger or against Lugermon, yeah, alliancing is pretty good. It's also pretty good when your opponent can't stop you. Then we have this one here. Start your main phase. If your opponent has a Digimon, gain 1 memory. And then main by placing this. This is where you get your rush. Rush is nice, especially if you can be sneaky about going up into it and ignoring some of the effects. The only reason really Gargamon is in here is because of having the access to this. And this is why this is at 2 rather than 4. And this is at 4 because it's just nice to have the ability to just poop out Digimon for free. That is why Gargamon is here for the most part. It's just meant to be a case of like, oh yeah, my first act died. Well, oopsie doopsie, Henry Wong's here, and now we are going to biomerge up into one of the Gargamons. Does that be Gargamon? Could be in name. Has to be Gargamon. So I'm going to have to rethink this one. But I mean, at least you can go to the Ace, which is the idea of it. So it obviously costs 4. Go to a cost of 4. If you do have enough memory, which you might be able to do. I think now, do these work with Biomerge? I have to check if these work with Biomerge. Because if you can pop this next time you Digivolve up with this and it costs 2, baby, you cooking with gas. But no, that's kind of it. I do like this deck. This, like I said though, once you get to BT16, this deck just doesn't look the same anymore. Rip some stuff out, put Tamers X in there. Rapidmon X turns up, he just starts taking names, and there's nothing you can do about it because the cards are very good. Right then, Tamers though. You've had enough of me now, I presume, because it's been 23 minutes, and I'll see you guys soon. Hope these 2 deck ideas have helped you out a little bit for anything green in the near future, but I'm more of a purple-red player myself, so hopefully this wasn't too bad of a take, and you guys can take some information from this and build your own house of green to enjoy. But yeah, catch you guys next time. No book decks till BT16.